Hello and welcome to Thursday Throwback. It's great to have you back here again on my daily training. Today I wanted to discuss something that I've seen recently. There's been some more talk about noseband tightness and about how to measure noseband tightness. So I want to have a little discussion about that, and then perhaps next week I'll show you how you can use the ISIS noseband taper gauge properly. So firstly, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to this on YouTube if you're on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified every day when I do upload a video. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we're going to have a look at what has been done with noseband tightness in the past. So we'll just go here. So here we've got an article that I was the lead author on. It was published in 2016, which is quite a long time ago, as you'll be aware. So we've known that tight nosebands cause stress to horses for a long time now. In fact, the taper gauge that we use to measure noseband tightness has been available since 2012. So it's unfortunate, I think, that there's still discussion about how to check noseband tightness, because it is quite clear how it should be checked. And also, more recently, there's been some discussion about trying to allow the horse even less space under the noseband, which I think is quite unfair on the horse. We need to really think about, I think, what behaviours we're willing to deprive the horse of in the name of sport. So let's have a look here. This experiment, we had 12 horses in this experiment, and for the indicators of stress, we measured eye temperature, which you can see here, and we also measured heart rate and heart rate variability. Let's just have a look at the heart rate. So in this diagram, what we did with the horses was we divided them into, we divided the treatment into 4 different levels of tightness. So the blue one here, UN, means unfastened. So the noseband was just on but not fastened up. The next one is conventionally fitted. So that's with 2 fingers going right underneath the middle of the noseband. The next one is half of that area, so just 1 finger. And you can measure both those distances on the ISIS taper gauge. And the final one is no space. So that's tightened so that you couldn't get the noseband, couldn't get the taper gauge under the noseband. So here you see the first area here, the first mark on this graph is the baseline. So the horses were they were wearing a double bridle, so they had a double bridle on, no reins, so there was no rein contact. And right at the beginning here, the noseband wasn't done up at all. For the treatment session, that was the second 10 minutes. So we got 10 minutes here, we got 10 minutes in treatment. It was fastened to one of these levels, and the horses worked as their own control. So each day the horse would get a different randomly assigned level of treatment. So you'll see here, this line at the bottom is the 1 finger. Here is the unfastened. This is the conventionally fastened, and this line that goes up and down is the no area under the noseband. Then after that, the final 10 minutes, the bridle was taken off completely. So we call this the recovery phase. So we've got 10 minutes of baseline. Let's see where they all are. And you can see here for heart rates, they're all in much the same area, no significant difference at all with those heart rates. And then in the treatment, you can see this 1 goes right up, the heart rates go right up, whereas all of these in the other treatments levels, they were all quite even, so they didn't really change much. And then for the recovery phase, where we took the bridle off, these heart rates that went up in the tight noseband or in the no area under the noseband treatment phase, they came down again, didn't quite reach normal or didn't quite reach baseline, but they certainly came down. Whereas these other 3 lines, you can see there's no significant difference there. So what that tells us is that the heart rates went up just in this treatment with the nose space under the noseband. And then when we took the noseband off, they started to recover again. The same thing we found, or the opposite really, with heart rate variability. So with heart rate variability, what we're looking at there is the length of time between each beat of the heart. So you'll know if you get a bit nervous, then your heartbeat is very regular. So your variability goes down. If your heart goes bang, bang, bang in your chest, so your heart rate variability goes down. Whereas when you're relaxed, your heart rate variability goes up. And you can see here with these horses, it went down during the no area under the noseband treatment, but was otherwise the same for the other treatments, or certainly not significantly different. The next one is the eye temperature, and we found much the same thing with the eye temperature. You can see just with the no area under the noseband, we get that real difference. So we've got baseline down here, and then it goes right up with eye temperature during the treatment, and then it comes right down again during the recovery when the bridle and the noseband have been removed. Whereas the conventionally fitted with 2 fingers under the noseband, you can see that it's much flatter. So there's no significant difference there. This one was the only one with a significant difference. So we get on to the behaviours. So the first one we're looking at with the behaviours is the chewing behaviour. So again, in the baseline, where we have them all starting here, and then you can see here with this red line, which is the conventionally fitted, there's really not much difference in how much the horse chews when the noseband is tightened up at all. It really, and it maybe chews a little bit more at the end when the bridle comes off, but nothing significant. So the only 2 that showed any significant differences were the half the area under the noseband, so 1 finger space, and the 2 finger and the no space at all. So no space at all, or 1 finger, so half the conventional area. They both showed a significant difference. So what happens is the horse is just normal here when the bridle is on, but the noseband not fastened. And then as soon as the noseband's fastened to either 1 or no finger space underneath, the horse almost stops chewing, like they're rarely chewing, not chewing very much. And then you see this sort of rebound where it goes up again after the bridle comes off. So again, let's look. This one is for swallowing. Now, swallowing is quite an important thing if your horse is trying to work hard or do a dressage test or something, for example. So this was very interesting. I thought that, again, they all started much the same space, but what we need to look at is the change in the curve. So here, from baseline, the conventionally fitted noseband, the horses were actually swallowing more, and then more again after the bridle was removed. But with the no space under the noseband, so the tighter noseband and the half the area under the noseband, both of those significantly reduced the amount of swallowing the horse was able to do. We move on to yawning. So this is yawning. Now, obviously, the pretty much all of them show more or less the same thing, and then all of the horses again showed this rebound effect of after the bridle was taken off. We had quite a lot of yawning from all of them, much more than they began with in the baseline. So that might be a result of sort of the horse having been stressed, but having wearing the bridle at all, to afterwards that rebound effect of where that's removed and the horse does more yawning than it was before. This is licking. Again, you can see with the no area under the noseband, licking is reduced almost to nothing there. So I think what's really important about this is that we have to decide as a rider what we are willing to stop the horse from doing. Is it okay with us to tighten the noseband up so much that the horse can't really swallow when you're riding? And, you know, for pretty much all of us, the answer to that is going to be no. So how do we measure nosebands and where do we do it? So this is the ISIS taper gauge, the International Society for Equitation Science. They developed this, as I said, in 2012. It has been available since 2012. You can buy one if you would like one. And it was developed because while normally, or traditionally, I think this has always been this 2 fingers under the noseband, and it was always measured right there, as you can see here, where they're putting the taper gauge right on the bone of the nose at the front of the face. That's where it's always been measured, and convention tells us that 2 fingers need to fit under there. But when it was first suggested that this was a useful measurement, people said, oh, well, some people's fingers are bigger than other people's. And so what they did was they went and got the average size of 2 fingers and they made a taper gauge so that it would be beautiful and easy to use. So that's the taper gauge. It is very simple to use. And next week, I'm going to show you why it is used there and not in another area of the noseband. So why it's not used at the back of the head, for example, or why particularly it's not used on the side of the face. So I really need you to understand there's a very real reason that this is why it's tested here, because you can't really test this in the soft tissue. You're not going to learn anything. So please do go along and join the Can Do Community Hub. This is where the conversation is. You can find all the daily training videos in there, and I would love to see you in there. And all of these links will be below for you. And I will see you tomorrow with Friday Fun. Bye.